am Melissa Daley. I'm here with Agile World, and I'm going to talk about why did I become an entrepreneur?
Hello, everyone. I am Steve Moubray with Agile World, and today I am here with one of my favorite nonconformists, Melissa Daley. And Melissa and I, when did we meet, Melissa?
2014.
Oh, she remembers the year. So I guess we met 8 years ago. And since then, Melissa and I, we were both business analysts for a government contractor back then, and we have both moved on and done quite a few different things. And I love the fact that Melissa has gone off and started her own business and software ventures. And
well, remember, I had my business then.
That's true. But you didn't have as many contracts as you do now. And your business is much bigger. So Melissa, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you for having me here today.
And I'm laughing because that is Melissa's fake side. He was pushing on that one. But that's okay. That's okay. The nonconformist in her, I could feel it.
It will come out.
It did.
I'm good, Steve. Thanks for having me here today. Yeah. I don't really do that well.
I know.
People want me to do that, and I don't do it well. They want me to do it. I don't do that well.
No, but I don't think they really want you to do that. They just don't. They just may not know how to take you because you're such a powerful person.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I didn't expect that." Like over the weekend, so no, when I came back to the, from the big weekend, someone asked me, was like, "How was your weekend?" I was like, "It was awful." And then there's like a hush over the crowd. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, I know for like the past year, I probably have said it was great, but no, this week it was awful.
Okay.
No one knows how to take that. You know what I mean? No one knows how to take when something's bad. They know how to take like, oh, have a good day. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. But when I say it's awful, you can hear everyone go, I don't know whether to ask her what happened over the weekend or what, but let's just get on with the assignment. No one usually doesn't take it. No one knows how to take the truth. Steve?
That's well, because it kind of caught me off guard. I'm thinking, I don't think I want to dig into that too much. Because I don't know that I want to know about her horrible weekend. But
yeah, it wasn't like all that bad, but it was a little intense.
Yeah, well, that's fascinating. I'm going to come back to that in just a second, but it's different cultures as well, because in the American culture, I think we ask how you doing, and what we're really saying is entertain me.
Exactly.
Right. How was your weekend? Tell me something good. Cheer me up.
Correct.
Or if we ask, how are you doing? It's just a politeness.
Yeah.
Now my wife being from Ukraine, and we have lots of friends from Eastern Europe.
Right.
When you ask such a question,
it's a conversation.
Yeah, they're going to tell you. They're going to. It's rude not to tell you. So
correct.
So you need to sit in because it might take 10 minutes.
Right. So sit down. Let me tell you.
Yes, it may not just be.
Otherwise, don't ask me.
Exactly. Don't ask. You don't want to know. Don't ask.
Don't ask.
So that one has caught me a couple times. Just I got my keys in my hand, and you get. Okay, but you're going to tell me anyway. So, all right. So let's talk. So yeah, be careful. So how was your weekend? What's up? Why was it a bad weekend?
People in. Yeah, just people. People do what people do.
All right.
Or dishonest. People don't tell the truth.
Oh.
People lead you on. This has nothing to do with dating in terms of leading you on, right? Not like that. But it's close to it. There's monetary things of value involved, and people want to play with that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really have a lot of time for the play.
You don't have a lot of time. And I know I've tried to, because how long did it take us to go get pho again recently?
Oh my God, 2 years, 3 years, maybe 3 years. I mean, it was COVID.
Yes.
And then there were the months of like, okay, I got to get vaccinated. All those other things. And then we went for pho.
And it was so good to see you.
I know, it was so good to see you too.
It was.
In our favorite pho place.
Yes. The place where very close to where we met.
Yes, exactly.
Right down the street. And the next time I see you, you're going to be at, is it called Inflecticon?
Inflectricon.
Flectricon. I need to get that right. Because you're going to be doing a couple of talks.
I am. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be my first conference in person before COVID. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of interaction, a lot of people there,
Yeah, it's going to be great. So Inflectricon, that is in DC. It's at Gallaudet, right? And it's going to be in May.
Beautiful campus.
It is a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
And what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about human-centered design in an Agile or DevOps world with my lovely colleague, Kunor Bahal.
Ooh, I haven't met her yet.
No, you haven't, but I would love for you guys to meet. I can't wait for you guys to meet.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
Kunor is really good. She's really good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know you do great things. Because when we did the A20 DMV conference,
oh, that was fun.
Which was so much fun.
Can you believe that was almost a year and a half ago? Wasn't it?
It
almost
was.
A year ago? Yeah.
It was over a year ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Time flies when you're having fun, or when you're stuck in COVID.
Or when you're stuck in COVID, or you have a bad weekend.
This is true.
But yeah, time does fly. And because you did a talk on behavior-driven development, BDD.
I did. Yep.
And then you even showed up at the meetup and hosted that, which was fun.
I did. That is true.
Which was awesome. So Melissa, now you and I, we could talk about all kinds of things that we're familiar with together, pho and the conferences that we're going to be at together and things of that sort. But tell me and tell the folks listening, tell me a little bit about your journey. Because you have not taken the path that everybody else does. That's one of the things I love about you. What
path does everybody else take? Because there's sometimes, Steve, that I sit back and I'm like, why didn't I do that? What is it about me that I just can't? There's something in my bones where I just can't do that. Well, is that the other path that other people take?
I think a lot of people, you go to college for 4 years and then you get your degree and you go into whatever career you're going to do. You work for somebody else. You don't question a lot of things. You just do as you're told. And
question. That's key. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
off. And you work for somebody else the entire time and you just follow whatever the career path is that's laid out for you. And that's a beautiful path. Yeah. That's a beautiful path. It works for a lot of folks. It did not work for you.
Yeah. So I question everything.
No. Really?
Yeah. That's what makes me who I am. I like the science. I like the math. I like the engineering. If you don't like it, you don't question stuff if you don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to be a true scientist or engineer or someone who loves math and technology, you're going to question a lot of things. You got to question everything. Like, why did the program office implement that type of solution? I don't think that should go through.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to be combative. I just want to question, like, is that really what the users want? Or is this a political push? You know what I mean? Most of the times it's a political push. All right. Well, if it's a political push, don't pay me on salary. Pay me hourly. How about that?
And that makes sense. That makes sense. So when did you start questioning things and realize that that you wanted to start your own company?
Birth.
Okay.
I think my parents would agree with that.
Yeah, probably.
I've always been an inquisitive child.
Yes.
Now woman. Hasn't changed too much. I think the best decisions that were made were when we were children.
You know, we could probably learn a lot by just remembering what we were taught in kindergarten, right?
Yes.
You know, whenever we're trying to work on a team.
And eighth grade.
Why eighth grade?
Because mostly what I do is eighth grade math and eighth grade science. It is. Right? The scientific method. That's what you learn in the 7th and 8th grade. So the scientific method is all we do. That's what design thinking is based on. That's what the agile parts of the agile practice is based on. That's what software development is based on. They're all everything. Even creating art is all based on the scientific method. If anybody wants to debate me on that, you can, but it's a scientific method.
Now that's fascinating. See, I discovered computer programming in 9th grade, 10th grade. I think this was a long time ago. This is when Fairfax County was allowing the school system to spend some time on their mainframes. So,
oh, wait.
Yeah, that was old. That was a long time ago. There were no such thing as PCs then. Well, drastically expensive.
Steve, you don't even look like you even know what those things are.
Thank you. You're sucking up because you know I'm older than dirt, but it's okay. And I appreciate it. My camera keeps fading off like that. There we go. We're back. So you started questioning things, but why didn't you take the normal path? Why didn't you just go get a job for somebody and just do as you're told? What made you decide you wanted to start your own business?
Because getting a job sounds like prison. No, for real. Have you ever been to an environment where people were like, oh, I got about 15 more years left till retirement? What's the difference between that and someone who's going to prison? You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I got 15 years left till I got parole, so you can't enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? You can't enjoy life until you reach retirement. No. I don't want to live that life.
Well, you got it.
I've seen too many people who have died because they've been trying to wait until they retired. Right? They're like, oh, I got 10 years left. I got 5 more years left. Can't wait. And my goal from pretty young, my goal was like, how can I live and still make a living, but live my life like a vacation in some forms, right? Like I just got back from tennis in the middle of the day.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go. But having your own business, you often have to work a lot harder, don't you?
Oh, I do. But for me, parts of it is not work. It's fun. Like over the weekend, this is actually what made me happy over the weekend.
Okay.
Like over the weekend, I'm building APIs. Just not for the heck of it, but because I want to improve the software that I develop, right?
Wow, you are living your best life. I hear people talking all the time. I wish I could spend this weekend building APIs, but I have to go I have to go skiing. So
yeah, but it's not that. To me, it's like it's the questioning. It's like allowing my mind to exercise itself, So allowing it to exercise itself, although I wanted to better my application, don't get me wrong, right? Like that is the end game. But a part of it too is, I'm just like chilling out. It could be, plus it was snowing or whatever, but it could be a real chill weekend. And I'm just like, oh, wait, I want to figure this out. Let me figure that out.
There you go.
Then eureka, I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? That's how I taught myself a lot of stuff. I teach myself new languages, new stuff all the time. Why not? That's the part of what education is about. Education is an event. It's a lifelong journey.
There we go. It's all about the journey, isn't it?
It is. So that's why, Steve, I like to ask questions. I like to get involved. I like to know what's going on. I just don't want to sit in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of people have had me, unfortunately.
Hey, and that is so true. I just love that concept because my daughter, Tatiana, she's 18. She's getting ready to go to college, and and we've had the discussion because going to college is great. It's wonderful, and many people they'll get out of college and they'll find what their career is and that's it. And I've explained to Tatiana, it's like, well, I've had like 6 different careers.
Which I have admired in you. I'm like, how'd you get away with that, Steve?
There you go. Yeah, and I've done that, and I'm only 28. So
exactly, exactly. I mean, you were rolling at the age of 10. If your daughter is 18, okay, all the other year she's about to graduate, go to college. Kudos, 28-year-old.
And you started off talking about people being dishonest. There I am saying I'm 28. Yeah, but we were having the discussion, and I was explaining to her that what you learn now is wonderful, but the main thing you need to learn is how to learn.
Key.
And right. Learning how to learn is I think the key to constant growth.
Correct.
Because exactly. I feel you're either growing or dying.
Correct.
And that's
look at that.
And that's if you're humans or if you're a business.
Yep.
Or whatever, you're either growing or dying.
Yes, exactly.
And that's it. And you can die for a while, but then you got to come back. Right?
Yes. And that's an everyday thing, and it's a commitment to wanting to learn to do that and to develop. And it's not just about learning about, your profession. It could be learning about yourself. Like there's so much of myself that I still don't know yet. So I'm committed to myself on a daily basis to get to learn me and to know me more on a deeper level, right? Like I didn't know recently, like, okay, I can learn tennis. So I started playing tennis a couple of years ago. Great. Mm-hmm. I'm actually okay at it. I'm not really that good, but I'm okay at it. You know what I mean?
Do you enjoy it?
Oh my God, I love tennis. I like laughing at myself when I don't hit the ball. It's something that I don't have to be good at.
Tennis, golf, and sex. You don't have to be good at them to enjoy them.
Oh, well, I don't know about that last one.
Well, you have to be good at it to find somebody to keep doing it with you. But and tennis is the same way, right? If you never hit the ball back, no one's going to play with you anymore, right? So.
Exactly. Now, golf, you can swing by yourself if you're not playing with it. No,
there you go. So yes, it's that, and I think that's one of the things that I love about you so much is that constant growth mindset.
Yeah.
Never, and it's, and I was describing the growth mindset to someone, and they was like, that sounds pretty cynical. It sounds like you're never satisfied with anything. And I'm like, I'm satisfied, but there's more, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like for me, I have to question myself on, ooh, am I just never satisfied? You know what I mean? Like I literally, like I have to question myself a lot about that because it can come across that way. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like there's just more to learn to life, period. Like I wish, I was supposed to learn more about swimming. Like that's a part of me. Like I started learning how to swim because I never learned when I was younger. So I started learning how to swim, but because of COVID, right? I couldn't. But I can't wait to go back out there and like learn how to swim, like learn how to swim better, all that other great stuff. And so to me, it's like about developing me to be a better person, right? So I can just be a better person and live my best life. How can you not live your best life if you're not learning about who you are, or how other people are, or how to interact with other people, or just educating yourself about different things? I think, like you said, I agree wholeheartedly. If you're not, then you're dying. That's to me what death is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think that's what it is. Now that doesn't mean I'm perfectly happy kicking back for some time and not doing anything, not
Correct.
learning anything. And sometimes that just feels good.
Yes,
But it's not a state I can stay in.
correct.
Yeah.
And like I can break. Don't worry, like if I need a break, I can break. Right? Like I can just sit. I can sit and just stare at the water. You know what I mean? Not do nothing. I had this thing of I probably shouldn't say this on camera.
Okay.
Let me see how can I say this? How can I say this? Like I have this thing of like if it's a certain time of year or for like a certain situation, let's say, then I basically break mentally. Does that make sense? Like I'm like,
Okay.
I'm on a mental break. So I may show up to certain things, but mentally I'm not there. Does that make sense? And I
No.
choose to do that where it's like, oh, that's fun. I could be at a place, but I don't mentally have to be there.
I like that, and I am often there, and I've gotten to the point to where I'm comfortable enough with myself to just let people know.
Really?
Yeah, I can tell people, hey, you know what? I'm here. I know we're working on this today, but I'm just going to focus on the repetitive tasks today. I'm not going to be creative today.
That's good.
I
remember when I was an employee, like my whole thing was like, oh, I'm just going to be present. I'm just going to show up because, like in school, showing up is like half the points you get. You know what I'm saying? Like you get 50% for just showing up in school. So I was like, well, if I go to work and if I were to categorize this or rate it, all I need to do is show up. That's 50% of it. And then if I actually do the work, that's a fucking bonus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's different ways to do the work.
Yes, but like I'm really fast at doing the work. So like I could go into the office Monday, Tuesday, and just show up mentally, and I can do the work on like Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll be done.
Yes, and that's also the knowledge work. That's also the problem solving skills. It's very interesting if you ask, or if you watch developers or ask developers, say, what would happen if you lost all your work that you did yesterday, the whole day? How long would it take you to retype it all? Hands on keyboards. How long would it take you to retype it? Sometimes, it'll take me all day, but others, if you have a good relationship, they'll say, 30 minutes. Because they already figured it out. They had to spend yesterday figuring out how to do it, how to write it, how to create it. And then it was only 30 minutes hands on keyboards.
You don't need to be in the office to do that. That's how I feel. I felt like, as an employee, they just have us sitting there waiting for us to figure stuff out. When the best way for me to figure things out is when I'm dancing.
Wait a second. I've never seen you dance. I've known you for 8 years. I've never seen you dance. What's up?
Like I said, this is the evolution. It's always a cycle of getting to know each other.
Okay.
Right. So what helps me in like getting to the end result, the problem here, is dancing, letting myself get loose and free. And you can't do that in a corporate environment, at least some corporate environments. Well, like at Orca Intelligence, freedom is accepted. Dancing is a part of the process. Okay.
I love that. Can I come work for you?
Sure. You got to dance. I mean, you got to release that energy that comes through freedom. So you can't do that. Like when I work for other companies, I can't be dancing at my desk, but I would have music on, like in my earphones or whatever. But I can't dance. I would tap on the desk.
Okay, I've heard that. We used to share an office, remember? I've heard you tapping.
That's my little rhythm thing going on.
There you go. And you know me, I'll talk too much.
But it was fine.
It was great. I loved working with you.
We had a good time.
We did. We did. We got a lot of work done, but we also had fun. So, so since then, you have been involved in a number of software projects, like creating software projects.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit more about those, because I only know about one or two that I've helped a little bit with, but talk to us.
Let's see. Oh, one of my favorite ones, which I haven't been on in a while, was with a company called Right Eye.
Mm-hmm.
And they are a eye tracking software company that basically diagnoses you based off of diagnoses your eyes or eye injuries or diseases, mostly injuries, based on your eye movements. And so helping them build their software, like doing the requirements for that, like that was fun. Like I love working with scientists. I absolutely love working with scientists. That is so I do. Like, I don't know what it is about me in that, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I just get a groove with working with scientists, man, because they just have so much, it's so much complexity to whatever types of software, like, especially Right Eye. Like, that still to this day is like one of my favorite projects that I worked on because of the whole intricate details around it, and like what they were doing, and like the like business rules behind, like all of that stuff was so much fun. Yeah, that was cool. And then also some stuff with like local government. As you can see, my mood changes with that local government.
Yes.
You know, local government, like DC government. I haven't worked with Maryland government though, but mostly that was around like we implemented a mobile device management solution. So
Mm-hmm.
helping out with that, helping the city, one of the agencies with that. What else? Oh, another one that, this is one of my other favorite ones was General Service Administration, helping them develop their project management. No, wait, property management and leasing management application. So that was big because then you get to learn about like how the general services like procures buildings and like all the like details it goes through and all that other stuff. So that was fun. That was a fun one. There's another fun one. Oh, Comcast, working on their search and discovery application, helping them with their agile coaching, agile practices. I wasn't there long though. But that was fun because that was big data. And I love the technology, like the technology behind it is so dope. Like the amount of information that gets passed in a NoSQL environment and using all the types of like NoSQL and then like the different cores and like how they were like doing load balancing and all this stuff. Like it's so like the technology behind it was so dope. So that was a whole lot of fun just to kind of understand from like an environment that was not a SQL environment, understanding like what they were doing in that environment and like how they like move the data through the various systems using like Elasticsearch and using the ETL process and all that other stuff. So that was fun. Like they do a lot. They do a lot of good like creative things as it relates to big data, which I'm taking that like history that I have and hopefully being able to move it into other environments like local government and federal government from a big data perspective, and just understanding NoSQL and how I understand, looking at Comcast in terms of the modernization they did around their application for search and discovery on the voice remote and just searching for different types of entertainment, how they took that and they've just built it out into, I think, a dynamic solution. But then using that same thought process in other areas, like for government, even in my own application, like that same thought process. is so important. I think that we're going to get to a point where big data is going to be the thing, right? Because we're going to have so much data. Hence why there's Metaverse. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why people are surprised about Metaverse. But
Well,
what did you think he was doing with the data? You think he was just sitting there like nothing? What'd you think?
Yeah. So the whole big data concept, and if anybody's listening was wondering what SQL is a way to tell a database or to tell computers how to go through and figure out things in the data to go queries. Hey, give me this answer. Give me this answer. I want to ask this question. Give this to me. But with big data, there's so much data there. It becomes a challenge to figure out what the questions are to ask and how to ask them. So we get away from that with this big data concept, and we start talking about, we use terms like data lakes, but think about a lake where it's just all the information is flowing and just there, and it's just a matter of finding the right water or even what area of the water to play in. And it's very different than the way that we used to look at data. Because it's going through much more. It's going through an entire universe. And when you talk about Metaverse, that's really what it is. It really is the universe of so much data. There's so much information about it out there that it's really.
It's Metaverse. I think it's a perfect name.
Mm-hmm.
Metaverse.
For
those of you who don't know what meta is, it's basically data about data, right?
Yes, it's data. It's data that describes data. Isn't it? It's how do you describe data? It's not the data itself. It's just how you describe the data.
Correct.
And because there's so much of it, sifting through it is all. And so when we think about Facebook, I mean, how many is there? 1 billion, 2 billion people?
Facebook. I don't know. It's a whole country to me.
Yeah, I think it's more than a country. It's multiple continents, and yes, they do have all of our data.
Mm-hmm.
They do. It's crazy.
Well, mostly yours. I don't really interact with them that much.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true. And I interact with them less than others. So, it's probably shocking how much data they have about my daughter and kids and so forth.
Yeah, I have a huge opinion about all that. My opinion is very deep as it relates to a whole bunch of social media, except LinkedIn. I respect LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time there.
LinkedIn respects my privacy. They have all that going. So I respect LinkedIn because they respect me.
Ah, there you go. There you go. All right, I'm gonna come. I want to get your opinion. However, I just want to tell you a quick story because right before we got on this call, we went through a coaching class a couple months ago, and there were a few of us. And of course, you asked the question, "What did you?" And depends. Well, it depends on the situation. We were asking that question so much that I finally went out and I pulled down a Depends logo, and I made it my background screen. So every time somebody said Depends, I'd throw that up as my background screen. Well, we were just on a call, and I was talking to David, and David did a search on his home computer to go through, and because he was going to create something, and he's like, and for months I kept getting ads for Depends. Because he was doing his searches on his home computer. I didn't buy it on my work computer, and evidently it blocks a lot of that.
That's hilarious.
I just thought that's kind of fun. So Melissa, in under 5 minutes, tell me your thoughts and opinions about how they're grabbing all of our data and what the good, bad, and ugly is about it.
I see it as if these organizations are building a small country, right? And bigger than a small country, they should have protocols that are equivalent to a small country, right? If you have this amount of information on people, there should be protocols and government policies in place that are going to protect people and their data. I don't think it's safe from a human center or even a user experience perspective that people are able to collect this amount of data on us. But with the caveat that, a lot of people just kind of check the boxes and the policies and the data agreements that they sign up when they sign up for it. So there is that aspect of it. But I do think that either we collect the data and we teach people how to safeguard themselves, or we give people more sovereignty over the data, right? I think eventually what's going to happen is either Facebook is going to be its own, not Facebook relative, but like there's going to be a government agency that's going to have that's going to allow us to have sovereignty over this, right? So, like for example, our driver's license, there's the motor vehicle services, there's the Department of Transportation that kind of oversees that. So there's going to be some governing body, but that governing body isn't going to take place until something tragic happens.
Now that's interesting, because yes, pretty much every keystroke, everything we do online is tracked by somebody, by Amazon, by Facebook, by Google, whoever, Bing, whoever your search engine of choice is. So they know a lot about us. That's why you type in one thing and suddenly, boom, you get all the ads about it. But there's far more than that. I mean, I realize I use Gmail. Google owns all my emails for the last. All kinds of stuff is in my emails, and they're pretty good about it. So, but they do have it. Alexa listens to you all day long. And I wonder about.
She does.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, is she listening to you now?
Oh no.
Okay.
I was gonna say something else, but I can't. So.
Fair enough. And Siri, on my iPhone, I know people that just have Siri. They have their iPhone just listening to them all the time, and so it is interesting. And so if there ever becomes a governing body over all this data, can it just be a single government that has it, or does it need to be like an international consortium? Because
so what I think is that the same way that we have border control, through Homeland Security, we need the same thing on our devices. That's just what I think. I think that there shouldn't, like for us, like for example, China is building out their own operating system, right? I think the US should build out their own operating system, and in order for us to get into a foreign network, or a foreign network to come into us, there needs to be a governing body. There needs to be something that is saying, do you have a passport to come over here? Hello? Oh, okay. You do? Yeah. Well, welcome. Nice to have you. Right? Like that's what I think should happen, because right now there's it's an open world. It's a free network of people, right, in this whole space. But then there's segments that are segmented off, like you have your VPN spaces, like government, all that other stuff. But I think that in order to protect us a little bit more, especially from just a regular citizen area, that we still need some protections around that, right? It could be blockchain. I think blockchain is a very awesome technology. But even if it's, because there's still a lot of scenarios in blockchain that hasn't been all the way thought through and figured out yet in terms of how that will change our world. But in terms of what we have, the technology that we have in place now, I honestly think that we can build and put in these protocols. And that's what it will look like. Whether or not it's really a governing body that's governing our data, I'm not sure if that's what it looks like, but it does need to be an organization that puts in the policies around it and how our data is being used. Like the SEC, right? Security Exchange Commission, they're in practice to make sure that all of our investments and trades are being traded correctly, right?
Right. There's not insider trading or anything else. And
correct.
And, FINRA is heavily involved with that, and talk about big data. So
right.
They can go through 90 million pieces of data a day.
So it's interesting that we have policies in place for money, right? We have policies in place for money. We have policies in place for food. We have policies in place for pets.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we're missing is, how can we have policies in place for our data? Our data is the same as money. Like right now, money is a data transaction, like it is at the SEC.
That's true.
So why don't we have policies in place for the sovereignty of human information? Because especially when we get into biometrics, that's going to be even more dangerous, right? We're already using biometrics for facial recognition on our phones, body recognition with thumbprints, stuff like that. You start to lose and you start to like not really protect that data as much. It's nice that we trust the organizations that have that data, like Google and Apple and whomever else. But there's still some insecurity around it.
Do we trust them, or are we just not aware of it, or do we just not think about it much?
Well, remember, I'm the thinker. I trust it to a certain extent because I know, I grew up with this brand and trusting this brand, right? So that's where that's where that relationship has been, developed.
Right,
so I kind of trust them. I'm like, because I'm not like, there's a reason why I don't use another brand, because I don't want y'all having my thumbprint, which they may already do. So that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm okay with this brand having my thumbprint, but not that one.
Okay.
So that's me. That's how I evaluate it.
Mm-hmm. And that does make sense. But at the end of the day, they are just corporations, and they're focused on making money. So
yeah. But in order for me to, like everybody else, in order for me to trust it, I gotta take that out of my mind. Because I would throw the phone away.
and I think that's where I am most of the time when I start thinking about the amount of data that Apple, Google, and everybody else has on me. It's like,
throw it away.
I'm just going to be quiet. I'm
straight.
Yep.
Throw it. Just throw it.
Time to think about something else, right?
Exactly. So,
yeah, because Google probably knows that you and I had pho, because I was doing a search on and getting directions to the pho place, right? So they probably, and my credit card company knows that I paid for pho there.
But the one thing that I think though is that, it depends. Like a lot of these organizations, they do a good job on aggregating data together. Like they're, they're trying to cleanse it, normalize it, aggregate together so they can do more analysis. But it's still a lot of work. Like there's, I'm just thinking in my head that they have all this stuff together and aggregated, but it still may be segmented,
Mm-hmm.
Like your email may have this information about you, but your workspace may have this, you know what I mean? It still could be segmented.
Yes. And that's, but it could all be aggregated together if necessary. Now, perhaps the saving grace for now is it becomes too difficult to figure out what is Melissa Daley doing. And
exactly,
because there's just so much data out there. So,
well, one, I don't post that shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like nobody knows what I'm doing. You know what I mean? The shit that I do on a regular basis, no, you don't know. Because by the time I post anything, I'm probably asleep.
Okay, all right, that's true. But if you type in directions, if you do a search for a place, all of those things are there.
Yeah,
right? So I don't have to post that I'm at such and such a place.
No, you're right. That's true.
My phone is tracking where I go, where I drive. It can. So combining all that. But anyway, so look, we've been talking for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And you and I could talk forever. We always run out of time. But what did we just talk about? And what are any final words you'd like to say for all those people listening to you and getting to know you, other than the fact that you are now going to be a new co-host with me, I hope, on Agile World, and we're going to be talking to other people. So, any final words of wisdom?
Keep your head up. True word, the Tupac.
There you go. Keep your head up. Yeah. All right. I like that. So, all right. So this is Agile World News. We're Better English, and we are here with Melissa Daley. And if you enjoyed this chat, please think about subscribing. Would greatly appreciate it. Anything that we covered here will be in the show notes, along with, Melissa, can we post your LinkedIn? People know how to find you then.
Of course,
and
of course.
And a link to Orca Intelligence, Melissa's company, as well as some of the other projects. So, this was great. I enjoyed chatting with you. I can't wait to see you at InflectorCon coming up. That's May 5th, 6th. When is that?
May 5th and 6th.
Okay, May 5th and 6th. It's in DC. Looking forward to seeing you. You know I'm a hugger, so you're gonna have to put up with that.
Oh no. Steve hug. I love my Steve hug.
And I love hugging you too.
I know. Steve
Anyway, Melissa, it was great seeing you. We will talk to you soon, and look forward to seeing you in person.
Thank you. You too, Steve.
Thanks. Bye-bye.